All right, so everyone's had a great week. Look, shorter week. I know we only caught up last Wednesday, and guys, I am going to be very reasonable with you all here. I know that what we went through last Wednesday was quite in-depth, and there is some work to it, so I don't expect everyone to have everything done. But before I move on to today's session, which is going to be incredibly interactive, and I'm glad that there's a couple of people tuning in now who are actually sitting with partners, because that's easy. I'm just going to be able to bring one person off mute and not two. Does anyone have any questions about setting up your PT/semi-private programs and the way to do it and how to use your language? Does anyone have any questions on that?
I don't, but both my trainers who are doing it, I'm assuming they would. I'm not doing any semi-private, but they are. But
yep.
Yeah, I would assume they would have some questions. But
okay, cool. If you do, buddy, flick them through the chat thread. More than happy to answer them. I think the big thing to remember if you are facilitating semi-private training. So, guys, a couple of really cool notes to start the day off with. Number one, you want to make sure that you group people according to their goal, A, and their ability, B. It's going to make programming your session so much easier. Now, I would anticipate that the majority of people who come through your clubs are going to be after weight loss, so goal might be very similar, but make sure that we have a system in place that allows us, and we're actually going to go through this over the next few weeks. So no big stress if you don't have one in place already, but as you're looking to test and grade people on their ability, we want to make sure we have a simple but effective grading strategy or system so that we can very easily group people in order of beginner, intermediate, advanced, and help people that way. Okay. Guys, just on that, if you're watching the recording, obviously some notes for you guys. If you do have a question, as Louis just sort of mentioned there, pop it through the chat thread. More than happy to answer those. And guys, obviously one of your tasks by the end of this week is to have those programs ready to go so that as new clubs are opening and as new people are coming through, for those of you, not sure, I think Linda, you tuned in this morning. Not sure if anyone else did, but for those of you that watched my Beat the Winter Blues video this morning, you will have, of course, seen that one of the best things that you can do at this time of year is to show everyone everything that you offer in your business. So really important one there. All right, the next 2 weeks we are spending on the consultation process, and today I'm going to put a few people on the spot and I'm going to see how well you guys communicate. Okay, now communication, a lot of people think that it's a science. It's not a science, it's an art form. It's an art of conversation, it's an art of communication. I'm not a fan of scripts, I don't like them. I like having a format and a template to use, but the last thing I want you guys to sound like are robots and not be able to listen, to understand, to be able to share empathy, to be able to have empathy, to be able to ask. I want you guys to have the ability to ask great questions off the back of what people answer to your previous question and to be able to get to know them so that we can build something called know, like, and trust factor. Who likes receiving calls from telemarketers? No one. But who likes going to the shops to buy a new pair of shoes or a new outfit for the weekend? Absolutely. So what's the difference? The difference is that generally what happens is that when we go shopping and we buy, we love making the decision to buy, but we also love when a salesperson takes the time to ask questions. What are you up to? What's this for? Can I help you? They take the time to get to know you as much as they can in that short 3 to 5, or if you're like my gorgeous partner, hour in the shop. So they get plenty of time when they shop with her. Me, not so much, but big difference. Telemarketer, cold call, don't know you from a bar of soap and are hoping to take you from Optus to Telstra or something like that. Anyway, the best way to build rapport, the best way to start building a relationship with someone is to find things that you have in common. Now, Nicole, could you please take yourself and Sarah off mute? You're going to be my first guinea pigs for the day.
Happy to be, yay.
Awesome. Welcome, Sarah, by the way. Now, girls, what I'm going to invite you to do. So, guys, the fastest way to build rapport with someone is to find things that you have in common with them. Okay, it's to find common ground. big note of today. Oh, mind the construction in the background. Big note of today. The best way to build rapport with someone is to find things that you have in common with them. So girls, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes now. We're all going to tune in. I'm going to get off mute in a minute. I'm going to put myself on mute in a second. What I want you to do is find 3 things that you have in common with one another that are not to do with personal training, health and fitness, PLC, or your nutrition program.
Okay.
Your time starts now.
Alright. So what do you like to do in your spare time?
I like to ride my horses. I like to,
Really?
yeah.
I used to have a horse when I was younger.
No way.
Yeah. I don't ride anymore, but it's my business.
See, I stopped riding for a couple of years when I was busy working.
Same thing. Yeah, keep going. What else?
What do you like to go? Where do you like to go out to be social? Where do you like to go out and eat or things like that?
The first thing I said was the gym, since we can't talk about that. I mentioned events that are on. Like I love going to charity events that I can get dressed up at.
Yes. And what do you love most about it?
Just the different people you can meet with different stories and different backgrounds and things like that. Yeah.
Really getting to know lots of other people and
Yeah.
their stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Hey?
Yeah,
So
definitely. And with your horse riding, where did you go horse riding, or what style did you do?
I am an endurance rider. Long distances, out in the what do you call it? State forestry.
Yeah.
Out in the open fresh air.
Yeah.
Good times.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Jess used to endurance ride. I've
Yeah.
never done it personally, but
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll have to come and see.
I don't think I could do 80 Ks on one place at one time, but
Oh,
yeah.
You've got 1 to go, girls. You've got 2. You've got 1 to go.
Oh yeah.
This is where you say, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't remember what they used to ask me. Want to find out?
It's good practice. I like it. What breeds of horses and stuff did you ride mostly?
Arabians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never ridden one of them.
Never ridden Arabian.
Yeah.
What about yourself? What did you ride?
Stock horses.
Stock
We were
horses.
country,
real country.
mustering pickups.
Stock horse cross Arabians, but it's not really
Yeah.
the same thing.
Fair enough. Do we have to keep going? You want to keep going?
Let's leave it there. That was good, girls. Well done. Okay. How'd you find the conversation?
A bit
Oh, it's very forced right now.
Yeah.
It is, but that's okay. All right. We're going to have another go. So thanks, girls. Great job. I'll put you on mute. It's okay. Let's go with Linda and Louie. All right, guys. And what's Louie? What's his name? Or her name?
Dexter.
Oh, so cute.
So Louie and Dex, I want you to have a conversation with Linda, and the same rules apply. Find 3 things that you have in common that don't include PLC, personal training, health and fitness, and your nutrition program. Off you go.
Oh, God.
All right.
Well, ladies first.
Well, for me, I don't for myself. I hate going out, so I prefer to go out for dinners.
Where do you like to go? What's your favourite place?
I like anything with pizza.
Pizza. God, I went. All I do, just between you and me, pizza is my go-to at least once a week on the down low. When I'm with Scotty, can go out to bed. Oh, sorry, the dog's going nuts. I put the dog down. Yeah, once or twice a week when Scotty's down. What's your go-to? What's your favourite pizza?
So my favourite's anything with no mushroom in it.
What? Anyway, beautiful. What do you do behind PLC? What do you get up to?
I love going for runs.
Where do you run to, Linda?
I like Kangaroo Point.
Have
I prefer to be outside than inside.
you done Mount Warning before?
No.
Linda Slong, when you're down on the GC next, you, me, and D-Man can maybe come if he wants to. We are hitting up Mount Warning, all right?
All right, we're doing that. Okay, easy as done. Lock it in.
Good girl.
We're not going well with this, Bo. We're not picking one thing.
2 to go. Give it a go. It's not as easy as it sounds, is it?
I know.
No, but I'll fix it in a minute. It's okay. Keep going.
So, next one. Not gym. Okay. Well, the one thing we have common, I love dogs. So,
Really?
yeah, I used to have a small Maltese.
Well, funny that I have a little sausage dog. His name's Dexter.
Aww.
There's 2. 1 to go, guys.
Louis.
Yeah. I'm terrible at this stuff. I'm quite blunt. I'll be like, Linda, where are you from?
Me?
Yeah, where are you from? You,
So,
are you born and bred in Brizzy?
Yeah. No, actually, I was born in Sydney.
Sydney? I love Sydney. Whereabouts did you grow up?
To be honest, I don't really know.
Oh, well, that doesn't help.
And then I moved
Thanks,
up.
Linda. Could have just said fucking Bondi or something. That would have helped.
Let's call that 3, guys. Good job. Well done. Well
Linda's
done.
the worst. You could have helped me out there.
That was hilarious. Well done, team. Well done. Okay. Good job, guys. All right. So, challenging.
Awkward.
Now, obviously what makes life simpler for you guys is that when people rock up to PLC, there are some things in common, such as the fact that they're down here, that they're clearly interested in their health and fitness, and you guys are going to be able to take that and run with it. But the one thing that we know about sales and marketing isn't about generating more leads. For me, it's about having more conversations. So one of the things that I talked about in one of my lives the other week was about, I think we asked the question, we put it out to the audience and said, guys, what's the most important characteristic or trait a personal trainer can possess? And everyone gave their thoughts and opinion, and they were all right, because these are things that you believe in. For me, one of the biggest things, and for me, one of the most important traits that you guys can possess is the ability to communicate. Now, there are 2 parts to communication, as you guys just discovered. 1, what comes out of your mouth. 2, these things on the side of your head. And there is a reason that you were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. And that is because our ability to communicate is always tested by how well we listen. So, let's look at Communication 101. Let's look at our formula, and let's look at the art of connection. Okay, guys, down your page, I want you to write FORMULA. Formula. So write formula down the side of your page. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to pick on the same 4 people next time, because I'm going to show you how simple this can be. The F stands for friends and family. I can't believe you guys didn't ask, do you have brothers or sisters? Starting point number 1. How simple. Okay. F stands for friends and family. O stands for occupation. Hey, what did you do before you became a trainer? I went to school. Oh, great. So did I. Where'd you go to school? O, occupation. I love how everyone's laughing and like smacking themselves in the head at the moment. R stands for recreation. Guys, you love your health and fitness, but I'm sure some of you love going to the footy on the weekend, or I think Louie and Linda, you guys talked about, Nicole and Sarah, Nick and Sarah, you talked about the horses. What else do you guys love to do in your spare time? Recreation, sports, hobbies, movies. And the M stands for, I'm going to stop it at M, and then I'm going to give you guys another opportunity to chat. M stands for meaning. Now, obviously, when someone walks into PLC, what brings you here? Really simple. If you are on the gym floor, with obviously some of my trainers work on gym floors, what are you working on today? What workout, what part of your body you're working on today, etc., etc. Okay. FORM, friends and family, occupation, recreation, meaning. I'll get to the U, the L, and the A in a second, but I'm going to give you guys another crack. Now, on average, guys, it took you between 3 and 4 minutes to find those 3 things in common. I'm going to say you're going to cut that down to about half right now. So Nick and Sarah, You're first.
Okay.
Find 3 things that you each have that you have in common with one another. Off you go.
So, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Just one younger brother.
I just have one younger sister.
Oh, that's awesome. How old is she?
She is 18.
Same. He, my brother just turned 19.
Oh, they will turn 19 this year.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
yeah.
Same age.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so before PLC, like what was like your real passion? What did you do? Like heaps. Like what were some things that you really loved doing?
What did I really love to do? I really like to work. I worked a lot, but I really love to socialize.
Yeah.
Super love to go out, socialize with everyone.
Yeah.
Go out, go to parties.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah. Awesome.
What
Like
about yourself?
what? Oh, I was just pretty much PT before PLC and school before that.
Yeah.
But work, I definitely love to work a lot. Like obsessed. I just love what we can create, what we can do.
Yeah.
And I guess what brought you to PLC and why do you love it?
What brought me to PLC a lot was the mindset and the support.
Yeah.
So much of the support because didn't really have a lot of it before in like previous jobs I've had, so it's a massive game changer.
Yeah, me too. Because obviously, like, I was just a PT by myself in my gym. My business was going down. Well, I love to work a lot, like yourself. When I had no support, like I had no one to back me up on my mindset or my questions or my problems.
Yeah. You just had problems, and it was like, this is your problem. That's it. Like there was no one there to help you fix anything. It was just up to you.
I used to be the same.
Figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
I'll stop you there, girls. Now, here's the thing. I've now had to stop you. In the first conversation, I had to encourage you.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, right?
Yeah.
There's a massive difference here. The other thing that you guys did really well then was actually listen to what the person said and asked a question off the back of it, which was fantastic. Girls, you did that in under 2 minutes.
Kicking goals. So good.
All right. Good job, girls. Linda and Louie. Your time starts.
Take it away, Linda.
Laugh or shit laugh. Your time starts now.
All right, Louie, do you have any brothers or sisters?
I do. I'm the youngest. I've got a brother. He is 23, mechanic, and has a child. And I've got a sister who's a lawyer and thinks she absolutely knows everything. Hence, she's a lawyer.
Awesome. That's because I have my brother's 23 as well, and he's a mechanic as well.
How old are you compared to him?
21.
Are you the baby? Oh, God, you cut out.
No, I'm the second oldest.
Oh, the second oldest. Oh, okay. Are you the child that's forgotten about, like my brother?
No, I'm like the loved child. My whole family loves me. So I'm like the oldest out of 5 siblings.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
What did you do before PLC, girl?
So I was at uni. I was studying nursing. And I was in my final year to graduating. And I just figured it was something not for me.
How was it? I've had so many nurses say the same thing.
Yeah. So what were you doing before PLC?
Me? I worked at Subway. I was killing it at Subway. Yeah. I've come leaps and bounds. I'm sure you've had the cookies before. They are as bad as they taste, just full of shit. So yeah, that was my upbringing.
Wow. And were you studying before that or anything like that?
Me, I wanted to be a teacher, funny enough. I had a great teacher in school, and I wanted to be a teacher because I wanted to give back. But then I found this way of doing it, PLC, and it was a different way of doing it, and I could impact more people through doing it this way. So but I did actually want to be a teacher. I got into uni, but I cancelled it because I was like, nah, don't want to do it anymore.
Wow.
And what do you do for fun, Linda, behind the scenes? Linda Slot.
For me, I just love to go eat dinners, eat runs, and just pretty much socialize with my friends and family.
Where do you go out?
Yeah. Me, just to go out dinners and eat pizza.
Back onto the pizza. Oh, beautiful. Is that our time up? Did we smash it?
Yeah.
Well, you smashed it, yeah. But how much simpler did the conversation flow?
Yeah, look.
Way better.
Way better. Okay, now I'm going to make it flow even more, guys, because we've got U, L, and A to go through here. So what do you think U stands for? So, guys, you can come off mute a little bit if you like. What do you think the U stands for?
Don't.
Use open-ended questions. Use open-ended questions. So something, as you guys did there, and why I had to stop you the way I did was because you guys just kept going. You asked questions that you could build and expand, asked questions that would provide answers that could be built and expanded on, which was fantastic. What do you think the L stands for? I think you've all got an idea of what L stands for.
Laugh.
Yeah, I think you'll laugh anyway, and laughing is part of it, but the L stands for listen to understand. Now, the to understand part is the most important part about that, because we can listen in two ways. We can listen to hear someone, or we can listen to understand someone.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the importance of listening to understand is what? Or why do you think listening to understand is important?
So you can enter their world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The difference between being sold to and going to the shops and enjoying making the decision of buying. Okay? Listening to understand. The beauty of being able to, down the track through your consultations and through your conversations, sell people what they want, or be able to prescribe to them the best thing that's going to achieve the goal. You know, the other thing listening to understand does, it takes any roboticness away from your conversation. And I've had some fun over the years. I really have. Trainers that have come to me with a script, and we'll do role play in a session. How old are you? And what do you do for fun? And what do you want to achieve? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to achieve this? Do you have any medical dramas? There was no flow. There was no nothing. There was no flow. There was no feeling. You're going to have, every person who comes through your door is going to have a different story. Every person that comes through your door will have gotten there in a slightly different way. Every person that comes through your door, most importantly, and here's the key to it, every person that comes through your door will have their own reason why they are there. And this is something that in your consultations, and we're going to kick off into this next week, this is something that is imperative to having more success with your conversions and ultimately to growing your businesses, guys. Absolutely 100%. If you, in that first 15 minutes, know exactly why someone has come to sit in front of you or come for their free session or whatever lead magnet we're using, I guarantee you'll convert 8 out of 10. If you know why they are there, you will convert 8 out of 10. And if anyone says, I'm just here to get fitter and healthier, ask them why again. I call BS on that stuff in a big way. There is always a deeper, more meaningful reason why. If you've got a mum and dad, if you've got a mum in particular, it's generally to do with their kids. That's a little heads up that I'll give you there as well. Okay? All right, last one. What do you think the A stands for? Anyone want to have a throw at the stumps on that one? What do you think the A stands for? Well, the A stands for ask. Oh, Kylie, go for it.
I was just going to say attitude.
No, well, close. Close. Because I think
coming in a bit late today, so.
That's all right. No, welcome back. I think look, that'll be part of it. Absolutely, well and truly. A stands for ask the breakthrough question. And the breakthrough question is this. If there is one area in your life that you would like to achieve a breakthrough in, what would that area be? Some call it the magic wand question. If I had a magic wand, what area of your life would you wave the magic wand over? So again, it's another opportunity to get to that deeper, more meaningful reason why they are sitting in front of you. Okay. Any questions on that stuff, guys? All right, who wants to have a go? Last little role play. Who wants to have a go at their conversation? Now, with everything that we have in place, let's go to Nick and Sarah. So, guys, here are the rules.
Okay.
You now need to find 5 things in common.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You've got the formula there, and that's all you need.
Okay.
Now,
so 5 different things?
5 different things.
Okay. They're not before.
5 different things. Now, I will let you include health and fitness, but not PLC or the nutrition system.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Okay. Now, guys, I'm going to preempt something here. I guarantee you that I'm going to have to stop Nick and Sarah in their conversation because they will just keep going and going. You ready?
Yep.
Off you go, girls.
All right. So, can I pretend that Sarah's a client, or she pretend that I'm a client, or does it have to be just like we're talking?
100%. We can role play this as if it's client and trainer. Absolutely.
I'm a client. I've come to the gym.
Yeah.
Because then you get to ask the breakthrough question and.
100%. All right. We ready? Set. Go.
I don't know where to start down though.
Okay. Actually, I missed one thing. Sorry. I missed one thing. How to start the conversation.
Thank you.
Just say hello.
Hey,
how are you?
I was gonna ask you that. Hey, how are you? I'm good. How about yourself?
Really good.
Yeah. So what have you come down here for today?
I just saw you guys on Instagram, and I have a few friends that come here, so I thought, check it out, see what you're about.
What friends do you have that come here?
Nat and Jenna.
So
awesome.
Yeah, they're really lovely.
Yeah, they are.
They're coming here for a while.
They have every single day. They're so motivated.
Yeah, I was gonna say they finally motivated you to come down here as well.
Dragged me. Yeah.
Dragged you?
Yeah.
Why dragged you?
Oh, I've just been one of those people that really up and down with my motivation.
Oh, what do you do? What do you do for a job?
So I'm a hairdresser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long have you been doing that for?
3 years.
Yeah.
So I'm nearly finished my apprenticeship.
Oh, nearly finished. Yep. And you're gonna keep going after that?
Yeah, I really love just talking to people all day.
That's awesome. Yeah. Cool. And what else do you like to do outside of that?
I have some dogs and that.
Some dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little puppy as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's actually my roommate's, but I just look after him.
I like that because then you have the responsibility.
I don't have the responsibility of the dog.
Yeah.
But I call it my dog.
Yeah.
So it works,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So you love your dogs then?
Yeah.
Yep.
And only want one though. I don't need anything more than that. So what's the name of your dog? Jinx, that's cool. Mine's Minky, so kind of different names.
Do you go out and take people walks and runs? Or
all the time running.
Yeah.
All the time. What about you?
Yeah, a little bit. He's a little guy. He can't go that far. Oh. He tries. Awesome. Well, do you have any questions for me? What do we really want to know about what we do here?
I guess. Oh, we're meant to be not talking about PLC. We're meant to talk about health and fitness.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So maybe
So what? I lost myself now.
Just ask about an open-ended question about my goal.
Oh
yeah.
So what are some goals that we have for fitness?
Just want to tone up my legs and arms and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what have we done previously?
Just kind of normal gym stuff, but I guess that's why I don't get motivated because it's quite boring.
Yeah. Just normal gym stuff what?
World gym and just machine weights.
Yeah. Just by yourself.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Yeah. So you're looking for the motivation, looking for the help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the support.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm trying to remember where I am now.
That's right. Can I give some tips?
Yeah.
Maybe to relate to my story. So when I was I struggle with motivation, or I just went to the normal gym, maybe relate to I used to do that.
Yeah.
I felt like this. That might be something that could help.
Relating. Yeah.
So she said she wants to tone her legs. Ask her why.
So why do we want to tone our legs?
Just to look better in jeans and stuff, and like dresses and stuff, like especially like, yes, it's winter, but summer's going to come around in 3 months' time. So then like bikinis and all that.
Yeah. So that's what it's for.
Yeah.
That's your motivation behind it. Yeah. And
go deep into that.
Yeah. So why is that?
Confidence. Like I don't want to like people be like, oh, she has heaps of cellulite, or she doesn't look very good in that. Like I don't want people to think bad of me. Yeah.
And why do you think that is?
Like I guess like because like I want to be able to like be someone that people look up to, and be someone that like if maybe like an Instagram influencer and stuff for fitness and all that. Yeah.
And why do you think you would want to be like? Why do you think you want to inspire people?
It would make me feel like proud of myself, and then I would be happier to live a life that's like helping people, not just like my average life. Yeah.
That'll do, girls.
Well done.
Well done. So there you go. There's 5 minutes, and I'm sure you could have talked for a lot longer. Okay. Nick, great point just in correcting and adding a few things in there. So Sarah, when Nick said that I'm struggling with motivation, I think in the first couple of sentences, jump straight in. Why? What are you struggling with? What we're looking to do here is to derive as much information as we can to get to know them as well as we can in that period of time. Okay. So when we sit down with someone and we do a consultation, you're generally looking at spending anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. So you guys, that was 5 minutes there. So I'm sure you guys could have talked for another 5 or 7 minutes moving forward there. Okay. Now, the other thing that's going to make this easier, well, you guys are just talking off the cuff here. The other thing that's going to make this easier is that you guys are going to have some form of PAR-Q, pre-exercise questionnaire or screening form in front of you. Now, I'm going to send you through a template this week, and part of what you're going to do is have a look at what you've got and see if what you have can be refined, because the way that you set your pre-screening form up, we're going to actually roll into part 1 of consultations right now, which is the rapport building phase. The way you set up your pre-exercise questionnaire or your screening form is going to help you instigate and initiate your conversation. So guys, I'm going to bring those that I can see off mute. What is generally at the top of your pre-screening form?
Name and date of birth and phone number.
Yep. Address. Marital status. Sometimes. No. Occupation. No. Kids. No. Can you see how if we add a couple of those other things in, that's going to help with your conversation?
Yeah, that's actually really smart.
Exactly right. So asking the address. Oh, how long have you lived there for? I've lived there for 7 years. Oh, great. Where'd you live before that? I was living with my parents who live here. Oh, no way. That's where I grew up. Simple things like that really help. Okay. I love the kid one. Obviously, I'm a stepdad about to be a biological. Well, actually, no, I'm about to be both type of dad, I guess. How many kids do you, so you've got three children. How many boys, how many girls? Oh, we've got this. Well, I've got this. We talk about using open-ended questions. We talk about listening to understand and expanding on that. Do you think if you add some of those elements into your pre-screening form, particularly at the top, that you're going to find it quite simple to fit 10 or 15 minutes of conversation in? Absolutely. Okay. Marital status, single. Now, you don't need to go down that line, guys. They're opportunities to ask questions and converse. Okay. So
it's like in that live video you did with that chick, and she was like, oh, I started training at Willow's in Toowoomba, and I was like, oh, that's just down the road. And then I listened, like I kept listening because I want to know like where she came from and what she does now.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. What we're looking to do in this initial period, particularly using the pre-screen form, is to get to know them as best we can. As best we can. And there's been some interesting things there. even I've had some clients put favourite food. I've had some clients who have put those in Victoria, footy mad, favourite footy team. You can put more personal things in like that, depending again on area. But look, ultimately, what we're looking to do in that first 10 to 15 minutes is to engage in as much conversation as we can and get to know them as best we can. Okay. The next step in your conversation will be all around their goals. So realistically, in the first 5 to 7 minutes of your chat when you sit down with someone, it's all about who, you or them. All about them. It's all about them. We listen in, we ask questions off the back of their answers, we get to know them as best we can. Once we then get through that period where you feel like conversation's flowing, then move into the specifics about the goals that they want to achieve. Here's the reason. If we don't warm them up, if we don't preheat the oven, so to speak, you're not going to get to the reason why they're sitting in front of you, because they're not going to feel like they know, like, and trust you. So one of the biggest pieces of advice I've ever been given, don't be interesting, be interested in them. So as trainers, rather than sitting there talking about macros, micros, periodization, functional training, this and that, be interested in them. Ask questions about them. Ask questions about their work, their kids, their residence, so the word I was after, date of birth, school, all of those things. Get to know them on a personal level. Then we can go into their goals and what they're looking to achieve. Okay? And you can have your conversations based around that. Some will say, I want to lose some weight. Some will say, I want to do this, I want to tone up. And that's where Sarah, we sort of interjected there and said, okay, Nick's lacking in motivation, ask her why. It might be the fact that she doesn't have a specific enough goal set. It might be the fact that the goal's unrealistic. But then you can start to draw those things out of it, because Nick may have felt embarrassed to share that with you straight off the cuff. But now that you've taken the time to get to know her, she's going, okay, well, this isn't someone that's just after a quick buck. This is someone who genuinely wants to help me. Okay, so massive difference. All right, so we go through the questions about their goals. So I imagine you guys have things on your pre-screen like, what would you like to achieve, and maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, and what areas and why and everything like that. You got that on your forms? Yeah? Yep. Cool. They're really easy ones to have conversations around, aren't they? I think the big thing that you want to look for, another really cool add value point here, because we love value, the key here is that you also want to know what stopped them from getting started sooner, or what stopped them from getting to that goal in the first place. You want to know the challenges and the issues that they've had, so that, again, you can take that information away, and when you get to prescribing a program or your group fitness membership or whatever it may be, you can overcome that objection straight away. So I know that you said previously that you struggled to get to some sessions when you looked at another business, but one of the best things we do here at PLC is have a timetable that's 20 sessions deep. Bang, objection overcome. Okay, you guys are playing to your strengths. Okay. So that first 10 to 15 minutes of your consultation, now I'm not going to go any further today, because I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's been good fun. As I said to Scotty before, I love this session because I love seeing the change. I love seeing the improvement in people from what 10 past 1 to 1:45. Like, it's been half an hour, and you guys now have serious artillery at your disposal to have conversations with people that are going to show that I think showcase who you guys are, probably better than what you were doing beforehand, because you're going to show that genuineness, that care factor, and you want that to come through. Okay, so once we've gone through that once we've gone through and we're getting to the bottom of the pre-screen, of course, you're going to ask them about anything to do from a medical perspective, and then we go and we actually see how they can move, and we go through that assessment phase. But I'm going to chop it there and use that next week as the place will kick off from, because obviously there are some of you who want to know, well, what's the best assessment to use, and how do I, what's going to work best for semi-private and one-on-one and things like that. We'll go through that next week. Okay. Does anyone have any questions around the art of connection and part 1 of our consultation process? If you do, bring yourselves off mute and just fire away. No. Better question. Who? Oh, Nick's in. Go.
So say you had like this happens a lot, that you just get someone who's like really closed off or answers really shortly, or is like really hard to talk to, like maybe someone socially awkward, like a client. So what are some questions or things that have worked for you in the past that's helped that?
That's a great question. That's a great question. And you are going to find that there are people like that, guys, and you are going to think you're bashing your head up against the wall. The challenge with that, and to get them to really open up, is going to be ultimately to get to why they're in front of you as quickly as you can. The other challenge, of course, is to, if they're being short and abrupt, it's not necessarily a matter of skipping questions. Still go through the process of asking the questions that you want to ask and work your way through. There will be something there that they open up on. Now, if they don't, the key then is to get to that health and fitness section, or the health and fitness goals section, and to get into that and be really persistent. Now, what you quite often find is that people, have you guys done the color test, personality? Yeah, you've done that. Generally, these people are red. So they're boom, no, I want this and this and this and this. Okay, good. Have you heard of a technique called mirroring? Okay, sometimes with those people, you can be firm in return. And say, okay, so you want to achieve this and do this and do this? Yep, good, let's go. And speed the process up. Sometimes those people that you come across are people who just want to get to the end now and go, yep, okay, I'm in, done. Sometimes those people are people who think that stuff at the start is all fluff, and that's okay. If you can gauge, and from your mirroring, that they're a red or they're a dominant type, get them into the workout. Now, here's the trick. So here to answer your question, make them work. Make them really, really work. So I'm talking that if you have a fitness assessment or something like that planned, you got to laugh at this. When I got someone like this, I used to make them spew. True story. Not that I had that, not that I set that intention, and please everyone don't take that the wrong way, but I wanted to push them to show, because what I quite often found was that people didn't value what we did as trainers. They thought they did until they came in and actually went through the process. So guys, there's actually some genuineness to this as well. I'm not saying make everyone spew. What I'm saying is sometimes these people don't understand the value that we bring to them. So push them. And yes, I did make a couple of people spew when they did sign up, because they very quickly realized that far out, this guy can actually help me. Don't make everyone spew. But what you want to do in your assessment or in your practical phase is to push them. Okay, you want to push them. You need to show them the value that you'll bring to the table. Because quite often what these people think is that they know it all. Or they think they know what they can do. Or they think they know what to do. So with these people, for me, again, this is just my thoughts, the most important part of that is the practical phase, which we'll go through next week. So it might be ramping up a few extra reps. It might be minimizing rest time. There's lots of little tricks that you guys know as trainers that you can use. But to answer your question, Nick, quite often what we find is these people don't value what we do as trainers, and you need to show them. And the best way to show them is through what we take them through and what we do practically. So yeah, I know it's a bit of a laugh and a joke that some people did spew, but that's what happened. Okay?
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, because there's a lot of people like that D type of personality that don't like small talk. So that's really good. And just being able to try and read that, like, is this a person that maybe is like, you know, someone who's slower and needs that more time of questioning and explaining about the session, or is it a person who just wants to go in and get it done? So that's really good, like, awareness.
Absolutely. I mean, and guys, it's all about being a chameleon, and that's why, you know, for me, the most important thing with communication is this. If you have people coming in who just want to get to the end, who just want to go, yep, no, even if you've asked open-ended questions and they don't want to give you anything, and you read, okay, this person just wants to get in and get started, you know what? Get through, get in, still go through the process. Obviously, it's going to be quicker because they're not opening up conversation, but getting it and get started. There are people like that. That's okay. Okay, that's okay. The thing is, though, some people and the other personality types, so the blue, yellows, and whites, will see the value that you bring in that initial phase. They will see it because you're showing that softness and that care factor. Even the yellows, who make a joke about everything, they will feel that care factor. The reds, they just want to get going. Okay, so get through that initial process and just ramp up. Sorry if I offended anyone before about making them spew, but ramp up what you're doing with them, because that's where they'll see the value. And you'll find that the D types are like that in all, or red types are like that in all aspects of their life. They just get in and bang, 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 and yep, righto, what's next? And they're just bullet a gate. What was that?
I said that's Scott. No small, nothing longer than 1 minute.
But this is really interesting. My read on Scott is that Scott's a blue. I think Scott's blue-red. So I would say, Scotty, you're purple. I'm purple. I'm blue-red.
What's a blue-red? A purple?
What's a purple?
Yeah,
so still have, so red being very, very strong, very dominant leader. Red's very leader, intense focus. Blue is more, if you don't know what you are, you're generally blue. But blue is more compassionate, more empathetic, will sit and be able to converse with people. So that's where I know you can do that. But I know, obviously, you're a great leader of PLC. So I'm going to say you're blue-red. I'm going to say there's a bit of both in you.
Where do I actually do this? Was this part of
it is.
Or?
It is. So I'm going to share this with you, and I was hoping Nick's question would come up because I did want to share this with everyone. Colortest.com, and now it's the American spelling of color, COLOR test, colortest.com. Now it will ask you, just a bit of a heads up, it will ask you to answer the questions as a young child, in your view and your memory of a young child. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's do it in
I'll let you know.
Absolutely. Now look, in the test, it will say that you are. It will probably say that you are either. It will say that you, depending on your answers, you'll be. If you've got more blue answers, it will say that you're blue. If you've got more red answers, it will say that you're red. But I would suggest, knowing you for as long as I've known you and knowing the way that you work with these guys, yet the way that you are leading these guys, I think you've got a lot of. I think you've got red and blue in you.
Okay, I'll let you know.
I would say Louis got a lot of yellow in him. Loves a laugh. Bit of a joker.
Class clown.
Well, yellow.
Also.
Yellow. I would suggest, and again, I'm not making any significant calls here, I would suggest the majority of you would be blue. Blue's generally the biggest colour. White's the peacemaker, very, very introverted. White's a bit like the colour, a little bit reserved, and yep, that's them. Yellow, class clown. Like I said, red, bull, lion. Blue is more, as I say, empathetic, empathetic, compassionate. And if you don't know what you are, you're typically blue, or generally blue. So cool. So guys, have a go at that one. Love to know your answers between now and next week. I think you'll all have a laugh. And as I say, it will give you one colour over another, but as you go through the questions, you'll see, well, hang on, no, I'm more that, or I'm more that. Interested to know. So guys, action items for the week. I know you're still completing your program, so obviously that's number one. Okay. You're going to need them as we work through this time next week. I'm going to go through parts 2 and 3 of the consultation process. So you want to have them ready. I've got a mock example to use in the prescription phase, but I'd love to use one of yours so that you guys can see how it's presented. 2, Yeah, guys, do the colour test. Do the colour test. Let's throw that one in there. Wasn't going to, but let's throw that one in there. 3, apply this. 3 is to apply this to your conversations this week. And underneath that, guys, have more conversations this week now that you've got this in your artillery. You can use that. You can use this formula to have a conversation with anyone. And I'm talking at the coffee shop. I'm talking when you're waiting in line at Subway. I said that just for you, Louis. You can use this at any time. Everyone's laughing about the Subway joke. That was, yeah, cool. You can use this formula at any time. Your other sport, chatting with other mums, whoever it may be, you can use this with everyone. The other thing that I'm going to send you through, guys, I'm going to send you through a couple of great templates and modules this week. 1 will be the art of connection. 2 will be the consultation process that we use. 3 will be a template for a pre-screening form. Now, I'm not saying you have to use mine, but obviously what works best, as we find, is that you guys take what you've got, grab some ideas from ours, put them together, and you're going to have an even better product. Okay? And I think everyone's ears pricked up when we talked about address and things like that to, again, find more things that you have in common with those new people coming through. All right? Any questions? We're all good? Awesome.
I have a quick question.
Sure, Carly, fire away.
Sorry, I'm a bit late. But with all the pre-screens and stuff, is this for each club or is this individual? I don't know if I missed that. Is this for each club to do pre-screens?
Each club doesn't have to have the same pre-screen. I would suggest it's probably best if each club uses the same pre-screen, because then you're going to be able to use the same process. So I will send it through, and as I say, you guys can collaborate from there. As I say, I think from a continuity perspective.
Send it to Jess, Bo, and then we'll get that organised.
Perfect.
Clubs. Thank you, sir.
Done. Easy. There you go, Kylie. Question answered.
Thanks.
So at least then everyone can use the same process, the same system, and we can go from there. All right? Cool. All right, guys, any other questions, fire them through the chat thread. I'll touch base throughout the week. If you have any other questions, fire them through there as well. Yeah, jump on now. If you're not doing anything for another half hour or so, oh no, it's only about 10 minutes, the colour test. Jump on, do the colour test, pop your colours in the group as well. Really keen to see what they come out as. All right? Have a great week, guys. Great session. See you next week.
Thank you, Bo. See you soon, buddy.